What's up, guys? Going over a few things that for Pepsi today. That is concerning the pit stop limit, or not even pit stop, just cautions in general, and you know how the pit stop limit plays into it like this season so far, how it's been. We've completed a total of 6 races so far, 3 in both ARCA and trucks. Um, some people have been you know definitely asking questions to me about like how exactly cautions work, um, and pointing out what maybe they think should be cautions. Uh, how I do cautions in Pepsi is definitely, you know at least in terms of like how it goes throughout the race. I would say it's different from much other leagues. There's a lot of leagues that do game yellows, which, in my personal opinion, I don't like. Not a lot of people like game yellows. That's not really an unpopular opinion. I just don't think game yellows are good. They skip forward a lot of laps at some tracks. When at a manual caution, sometimes like at max, sometimes it might only be like 4 laps. When a game yellow, it might skip forward like 6 at a short track. Sometimes I may be off on the numbers there, but especially a track like a speedway where you get them locked down, pit that time, go out, shoot. Like it's about 2 laps quicker than it would be in a game yellow. Not only that, but just I don't like the fact that the race can end under caution either. I also think game yellows, if you turn them off, you're in way more control of the race, of what should actually be a caution or not. And how I base that in Pepsi is definitely unlike a lot of leagues. There's sometimes where, especially in stage one, where I'll hold it. In other words, for that, just not throw it. Because this is my point, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but holy fuck. This may be an unpopular opinion. But me personally, when I'm thinking about when I look at NASCAR 25 and the difference from that to Heat 5, it's clearly an adjustment. Especially at some tracks and series combos, it's clearly an adjustment for some people, and I'm aware of that. Now, how I combat that, that inexperience with league racing, I let these people race, but it's a learning curve. I feel like there's going to be a certain amount of tracks where, especially in stage one, where people are learning the track, that will have wrecks. Maybe let's say Pepsi this season, on average, we're about getting about 20 people. Our lowest attendance race so far was Rockingham Trucks. We got 16. But for Bristol, this just ran like a few hours ago. We got about 22. Now, with these bigger fields compared to last season, we more on average had about 12 through 16. We didn't really get in this range, which obviously it's not that much more, but it's it's definitely a range increase. It was different. I would call cautions. I would keep caution numbers consistent most of the time because we wouldn't have much wrecks. We just didn't have as much people. Now with 22 people, I love the pit stop limit, and I know that's definitely what makes my league, I feel like, unique compared to a lot of other ones, is the fact that we do have a pit stop limit. Obviously, I'm completely aware of it. I think it's electricity that we have one. I think it can make races way better. And anyone who raced last season, this is another thing. Anyone who raced last season know that we had many races where the pit stop limit played in big time. The Kansas playoff race, obviously. The final race of the season, Homestead. We had a caution. I feel like 3 laps into a stage and on 3x wear. That's no joke under tires. And I remember some people pitted, some people stayed out for track position, and that played out until the end. And we actually got some really cool strategy there with some of the guys who stayed out trying to conserve tires and stay with the guys who pitted, and stuff like that. And obviously, don't even get me started on the interstage, like in the stage 2 cautions. For example, like Freddie won multiple stages last season off the using his extra stop early, using that strategy. He like there has been more than enough times in Pepsi where last season where the pit stop limit like actually mattered and played a part into it. And I know it hasn't this season so far that much, except for Arca Phoenix, which we'll get to that. I'll go into that race. But all I'm saying is, for the new people here that think, well, this hasn't played as much of a part so far, just wait. There will be a race where we'll get like a mid-stage caution, and then, we'll see it. We'll see a lot of strategies take place. And again, this pit stop limit, it's not like in real life they have tire. It's not like real life, every race tire sets are an issue. You know what I mean? Like, this pit stop limit, it's to not only create for strategy, but I think also just the art of not being able, damage being on, and not being able to pit as many times as you want. I definitely think, now this may be another unpopular opinion, but I feel like it has definitely made some people be more patient than they usually are. And in this Bristol race, which we'll go ahead and get into right now, I started off, I didn't like how the practice races went. I started off in stage 1 specifically. Stage 1, a 6-car wreck for yellow. That sounds crazy with even though it's a 22 truck field, but I just wanted people to learn the track, and we could still get a 6-truck wreck. I mean, especially a track blocker, which is so easy for that to happen at Bristol. So obviously, I still think in that situation, a caution coming out, it's really low, right? But it can still come out, and people get to learn the track, which I think is personally crucial. And I put that over everything. And I still am in that like kind of segment of I want people to learn this game. Because some people are still learning literally every day. There's some people who this was probably one of their first Truck Bristol League races on this game. Especially in my space. The guys I race with. A lot of them, it was their first or second go at it. Maybe third. And just, you learn a lot. Like, Heat 5, the back end of it, we can't count how much league races we've done at Bristol. You know what I mean? It's just a learning deal. And I personally just think you're not going to learn too much if there's a caution situation. I definitely said that wrong, but you know what I mean. Oh, good Lord. I say a lot. Just with these bigger fields that we've had, I think I've been more hesitant to throw the yellow, and I'll admit that, because, mistakes happen, and we definitely haven't had, like, a detrimental situation yet where I've made, like, the worst, like, call in league history. So, but I won't let that happen. I'll definitely get better with my caution calls, and there has been at least one mistake I've made this season with the caution, and it was actually in this race, Arca Phoenix. I'm so sorry. Where at the beginning of stage 3 we had a caution. I called it. It was a big crash, and we re-racked. Some people pitted, some people didn't, and that's right there. That's when the pit stop limit gets fun, especially because Arca Iowa. That's like Kill Moose. He slid. That was awkward. Especially for a long stage like that, if some things pan out, it works for other people. For others, then for the other crew, it just doesn't. And that's what makes it really fun. Or they catch a caution about 5 laps down the road when the tires are low-key cooked for the other guys. And, it's just... we all know how the pit stop limit works. And we know how cool it can be. So, but after that caution, we went green, and we had another crash. And this one, it was weird. Two Dog was wrecking along top of the track, like the top side of the track, and about 4 cars were like collected and it got really slowed up by it. And I should have called a caution. I admit it was a mistake. I admitted it in the Discord. I should have called the caution there. I don't know if it was the fact that I don't think it wasn't like a track blocking accident. It just kind of $2. There was only probably about 2 or 3 that actually like were truly wrecked from it, but there were also about 2 to 3 others who definitely got damaged from it, and I should have took that into more consideration and called a caution there. That was a mistake. I'll admit that. It definitely was. But at a race like the Truck Bristol race, we didn't have any caution in stage 1 because of the thing, and even then we didn't have that much accidents. But from stage 2 to the end of the race, it was 2 3-car wrecks for a caution. I changed it because everybody raced pretty chill in Bristol stage 1. There really wasn't that much accidents at all, and so I moved it to 2 3-car wrecks for a caution. And I thought that was pretty good. Again, like, we get going, and we technically, I think we had 1 3-car wreck, maybe the rest of the race, like the whole race. And we'll get to why that's how it was for me. Like, that is my view on it. Guys, I can't see everything. Yeah, obviously, this is obvious. I can't see everything. There's races where, like, there's going to be points in the race where I might be in the back. There's going to be points where I might be in the front, maybe, or in the middle of the pack. But my point is, I'm not going to be able to see everything. So if there's a wreck, I need to know. I just need to know, because I'm not going to see all of them. It's just, regardless of where I am, I'm just not going to see all of them. And neither the admins can't see everything either. But, you know, having admins definitely does help. But I don't think people realize you got to tell me when there is a wreck, because here I am, and especially with how weird the track map operates on NASCAR 25, it's kind of weird. Dots will disappear from the screen and reappear, because I feel like it's based off how close you are to the pit road, and at some tracks the actual radar for it and how dots disappear, it makes no sense. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely not a big problem, but when you're trying to find out how much cars have wrecked in a crash, it kind of gets frustrating. But, it's just, I thought here with about 10 laps left, I thought, like, you know, we technically haven't had a 3-car wreck. I remember there was a 2-car wreck at the start of the stage, at the start of the final stage. I remember that. People communicated on that one. Perfectly fine. I was about to get ready to throw the caution. I was getting ready for it, and I was like, nope, 2. Someone told me, and everybody was like, yeah, it was only 2. Okay, we move forward. Perfect. And, but 10 laps to go, like literally like 80 laps later, or like 65 laps later, someone's like, well, yeah, we've definitely had about 2 or 3 incidents involving like 2 or 3 cars or whatever, so something like that. And it's like, I haven't seen any of that, and neither was I told this. Like, I don't think you guys realize. I don't know how else to explain the fact that I just literally can't see everything. So if you gripe about an incident that happened 10 laps ago that you thought involved 2 cars, it's 10 laps. 10 laps have passed. I'm not about to throw the caution then. And I didn't see that anyway. I just personally think that person might have just not understood exactly what a 3-car wreck would have meant. Unless maybe it was a 3-car wreck, and obviously I missed it. I wasn't told about it. I just wasn't told. So, I mean, it is just one of those deals. And, sorry, was watching I got caught up watching the actual race on the fucking screen right now. But my point is, while cautions, especially at the right time, can make the pit stop limit very interesting, I can't just call the caution every time, especially if I don't have full information of what's happened. I know I don't like throwing yellows, but obviously I will throw them. You guys know this. And, especially if you raced last season, like at the Kansas Truck Playoff race, we had like 3 or 4 cautions. Like 3 or 4. Like, so obviously when a caution needs to come out, a caution's going to come out, and I might do some tweaking with the rules, but my point is just communication is key. You got to tell me when a wreck happens. Sorry, you can't. If you see a wreck, and then none of the people who wreck speak up, and you don't speak up, I mean, whose fault is it? Because the league owner didn't see it. Let's say the league owner's on the other side of the track, or all the other admins are on the other side of the track, and they don't see it. That's not on them for not being able to throw the yellow, because they literally don't see anything. You got to tell them, and then we'll throw it. It's just one of those things that we need to get understood moving forward, especially considering the fact that now we're getting to that point in the season, going to another short track next week, like IRP and stuff. We're probably going to get some wrecks. It's easy to spin there. You know what I mean. But yeah, that's about it. Happy Easter.